Man Talk Monday. It's Man Talk Monday. Woo! Let's get to the topic of the discussion and hit the issues you typically find reluctant. Remove the facade to fill the gap with some substance. We undermining problems, expecting to overcome it. Please hold the applause. We doing it for the cause. People follow culture before they follow the laws. We rather face the friction and not attempt it at all. Persistence will find solutions once our contentment dissolves. There's a hard pill to swallow for anyone breathing, both for folks who stay woke and those who be dreaming. We ain't slaves, yet we still ain't experienced freedom. What we need is the keys to access the kingdom. We're all in this fallen world trying to stay intact. I'm just a beggar, point you out to where the bread is at. So follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel. And thank Yogi Bear and the thought engineer for that on Man Talk Monday. It's Man Talk Monday. Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again. Man Talk Mondays. It's your boy, Derek the Thought Engineer. Y'all know my man next to me, comedian John Yogi.
What it do, sir? What it
That's what
do?
I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all feeling that energy
Man, I'm
tonight?
telling
Y'all
you.
feeling that?
Hey, this ain't nothing compared to our producer. You
Oh,
talking about
man.
some energy.
Oh, bruh. See,
No,
on
she is on 10, ain't she?
10,000 over here.
You see?
guess it's got to rub off on us. So y'all gonna catch all of this energy tonight. Man.
Man, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
We not gonna prolong the time. Let me just let y'all know this is Man Talk Monday. It's an open forum where we give you the rational realities of relationships, but of course we're doing it from a man's perspective. So don't get mad at us. We men talking about this stuff, right? But it's not just for men. We want everybody to join into the conversation. Men, women, boys, and girls, everybody's welcome. How you do this, you go into the comment section, leave your comment or your question. We can see it. And that's how you have the conversation with us. By all means, pull up a chair, have a seat, sit down. We're going to talk about a few things.
Pull up a chair.
It's a few things. We're going to talk about a few things tonight. Right?
Can't wait, man. But before we get into that, how was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty chill.
My
Pretty chill. It was pretty
weekend,
good.
my weekend went good as well. It just was. It kind of dragged because Deion Sanders and Colorado decided they was gonna play football all night long.
All night long.
And I'm like, when you over 50, somebody kept coming by the room knocking on the door, talking about, you still up in there?
Man, I
Like, you
dozed
still
off
up?
towards the end because it wasn't looking promising for a
No, it
minute.
was
So I
not.
went to bed. I was like, I just watched the rest of it, in the bed. And I'm dozing off. And every time I doze off, I hear the crowd. Rah! So what happened? Then it's 1:30, man.
Yeah, we got home.
1:30 in the morning.
We stayed over at my brother's house till the game went off because I thought it was gonna go off at a reasonable time.
Oh, man.
We got home.
Man.
It was 2:30. And you know, when you're old, they take your car. You can't leave the room the next day. You got to sleep all day to get caught back up, brother. Yeah, it was
Oh, man.
a great game, though. Great game.
Shout out to Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, and the Colorado Buffalo team. Right?
Doing this thing, man.
Prayers to Travis Hunter,
Yes.
the cheap shot.
You heard about what it was.
Man.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Lacerated liver and ruptured spleen. Dude, that's serious.
That's a lot going on.
That's
in there.
serious. Everybody's calling for some disciplinary action be taking place.
Yeah,
By the
I
board.
agree.
Right.
I agree. I do agree.
Speaking of disciplining people, some of y'all need y'all legs switched real good.
We switching legs
We
already.
switching legs already. Because you know you did too much when you was younger. You know you did way too much. And now you're paying for it. You're paying the price now. So we talking about tonight. We talking about tonight.
Don't tell us don't be part.
Don't be pointing at me.
Tell us don't be pointing at you.
So we talking about tonight. Toxic prime years turn into relationship tears.
Wow.
Toxic prime years turn into relationship tears. I came across this. It wasn't a whole. It was a snapshot of an article. It was a snapshot of an article. This is another podcast, And the guy was talking about, or the podcast says, man says women give their best selves and prime years to the toxic men, then want a good man when they're damaged goods on the clearance rack.
The clearance rack. See, for me, it's the clearance rack for me.
Oh man,
because you know when you done went through the store, through all the good stuff, and the clearance rack is at the very back, and it's got a button missing.
Oh man,
or a slight hole in it, and they want to offer you that for $10.
Boy,
don't nobody want that.
And why is the price reduced on these clearance items?
Well, because it's for lack of a better word, it's been slightly used.
Or nobody. These are the things that have been rejected.
Yes.
Nobody has really wanted these things, so I gotta reduce the price
so it can move.
So it can move. So it can move. And I know there's a whole lot of debate. There's a whole lot talking about how men don't want women with a lot of baggage.
With the high body count either. We don't want you ran through either.
Right.
We don't want a locomotive running through you behind either.
Oh man.
It ain't, and you know what's funny? Because women will be the first to say, well, men get to do it. Why can't women do it? And listen, I get it. Theoretically, you have a point. But generally when it comes to guys, it's just different. We don't want somebody that's been with everybody. We don't even want to feel like that you have been with everybody. At least make us think that there's some mystery left.
Yes.
Is that asking too much?
No, I don't think it's asking too much. Afia says, "Don't be pointing at me."
We're gonna point at you all. You got an hour of us pointing at you.
It's gonna be a pointing show. We pointing tonight, but no, because the whole toxic thing, giving away your good years to toxic people, to toxic men, and then expecting good men to pick up the slack afterwards.
Now, see, I got a feeling about this. To women's detriment, women are ready to settle down and love whoever that joker is way too early before it's time to settle down and be doing. They want to boyfriend you or try to make you something that you not too early. So now they're giving their heart to you. And because they not only their heart but your ass. So since they giving their heart to you, now there are some of you left with him. Yeah. So now I'm left with trying to put together the rest of you that you didn't give him. Because now you feel it. Now you're broken. Now you need to be repaired. Now you're looking for later in your life for somebody to put you back together again.
Right. But I don't know, because women these days, I don't know if women these days are really doing the lock them down type stuff. They doing all the toxic stuff now, man. What is toxic stuff though? What
exactly do we mean when we say toxic? And I'm curious with the audience, when you hear toxic, what are some of the key words that you automatically think when you hear the word toxic? Because I think bust the windows out your car, right? Putting your tires on flat, right? Putting sugar, this old school. Put sugar in your gas tank. That's old school right there. That's old.
Boy, you seen the price of sugar these days, boy? Anybody
doing the price of gas? Girl, I kill you.
Stab you, bite you, shoot you, pinch you, doing all this stuff. But women, especially now, young women are being encouraged to do this type of stuff. They're being encouraged to be toxic. The rapper, what's her name? Glorilla. The rapper Glorilla, she had a post that she did. I don't know if it was on TikTok or what, but this is basically what she said. She said, "Be toxic for the rest of your 20s. You only get one life." And then she says, "And if you're delusional, turn it up a notch."
Now, see, the problem that I have with social media is everybody don't warrant you listening to them.
Oh,
Bless
man.
her heart. She
Oh,
got
man.
a rap deal. I get it.
Yeah.
And I don't. But now the gray hair should say, I know a little something about foolishness.
Oh man.
Because first of all, let me ask this. When the last time you was living your best life and somebody had to tell you to?
Oh, you right.
When the last time you was out there real bad and somebody had to say, girl, you know what? You doing that. Anybody got to tell you that? Girl, you know what? You in them streets, girl. You are in them streets. Anybody got to tell you that? Why would you endorse the foolishness? Because this what happened. What if you found the guy in your 20s and you were so toxic or so foolish? What what if you found the guy? What you gonna do with him? If you
man.
come busting
bro.
windows out and kicking doors in and fighting, and what you gonna do about it?
Hey man, Dr. Selena says talking about putting Alpo on rice and calling it pot roast. That's just
wow.
mean.
Did she make that up? Or
I hope somebody who did that.
Alpo used to look like
Oh
food
my
too,
goodness.
Man. Wow.
That's
That's wow.
And how many of y'all were toxic? How many of y'all listening right now? You know you were toxic. You stalked him. You fought him. You slashed some tires. You bust some windows out.
But now I bet you this. I bet you they'll tell you they was doing this all in the name of love.
Oh.
I bet you nobody's going to admit to just being toxic to be toxic. They're going to say, but I loved it him.
Oh man. Keisha says, hey fellas, I locks it down. Toxic. Stuff like using his words against him by remembering everything he says.
Yeah, we know that.
And saying things like, you promised to never do me like this. Now look at you. Then he'll straighten up.
For how long?
Oh.
For how long is it?
Right. How long does that hold? Before he catch on, like
Yes.
every time you always bring this up, then he start changing his words.
Because I think for the most part, women do that. Toxicity starts when you're trying to keep me and I don't want to be kept. When you have given me more of yourself than you probably should have, now that's when toxicity starts.
Okay, I can see that. Say that one more time. Toxicity starts.
Toxicity starts when you have probably given more of yourself than you should have to me, and I don't want you anymore.
Okay, because I'm looking at toxic on the other side of that. You are doing relationship stuff with people, whether it's having sex, hanging around, Netflix, but you don't want to commit, and so you take this person on that they didn't sign up for.
Oh, wow. Mentally.
And then make them feel like they the fool for trying to invest relationship stock in you.
Man, when you get your emotions in it,
Oh,
bro,
man.
I'm gonna fight you, bite you, cut you, stab you. Dude, let me tell you something. I just remember somebody playing with my heart.
Oh, bro.
Way earlier than I should have been giving anybody my heart. And bro, it makes you want to do some toxic things.
Oh yeah.
Because I want my lick back. I want you to hurt like I'm hurting.
Yeah. You get on this tip for tap thing, and that never works out well. So how many women out there agree with Glorilla? How many of y'all agree with Glorilla? I know many of our audience, you probably out of those 20s, but looking back at it, how many of y'all agree with her on what she says about be toxic for the rest of your 20s? He said you only live once. And think about you only live once. Does you only live once mean live like a fool and have fun? Or does it mean that opportunities are not going to keep coming by? Let me take advantage of the right opportunities.
Now see, that ain't 20. You don't think like that part in your 20s. Oh, you think you got plenty of time.
What happened to us in our 20s then?
Most of us in our 20s think we got plenty of time. Now, women generally will slow up around 28, 29 because they know they can see 30.
30 in that rear view mirror coming up fast.
They're in their rear view, like, whoa. Let me slow my roll a little bit. But we don't think like we think we got plenty of time.
And that's the big deception. Because, you have that invincibility thing in your 20s. You know what I'm saying? You got all this energy. You got, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the crazy thing about it is, as I'm thinking about this, how many of us have made such a mess out of our 20s that we wish we could go back and fix it and do it over? And what would we do different if we could? Because brother, we have made some messes. We have made some messes out of things that we dragged in our 30s and 40s because we was being toxic in our 20s.
Yeah.
So what would we, if you could do differently, what would you do differently? But first, you got to admit that you was toxic.
Bruh.
I'm just saying.
Keisha says, y'all men never catch on. That's what you think.
Lies you tell. Lies you tell.
We play dumb for your convenience. Because we don't want to have a conversation, so we'll play dumb with you. But think about having social media. I think social media kicks it into another gear because people love to post their toxicity.
Yeah, it's a fashion thing now.
If a guy did them wrong, like they got this new thing of blasting guys who they see out somewhere. Talk about, is this your man?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they doing all the kinds of stuff like this, man. But I think the excitement of the drama in your 20s. Fia says, in your 20s, you got energy to be toxic. Oh, she said, so I got the energy to be toxic. Keisha says, I agree then, but I don't know. But I don't now, especially since I know better. So she's saying she agreed at the time. When she was in her 20s, she was in agreement with the toxic stuff, but she don't now because she know better. Sharice says, Cece. Okay, Cece says, I think you need to enjoy life, but settling to be right for that relationship. Settling man, I can't read. I think you need to enjoy life before settling to be right for that relationship.
So what is enjoying life? What does it enjoy life mean? What does So
that's a good question.
Does enjoy life mean no attachments? We just having a good time. We just living our best life. What does enjoy life mean? Because most of the time when we enjoying life, feelings generally follow enjoying life.
Oh man.
Unless one of y'all says, oh well, no, that's not what it's about. Because generally we go into those relationships saying, oh well, it's just this not nothing serious. But if you keep giving your ooh wee to somebody, your heart has to follow, don't it?
Oh man, absolutely. The young lady says, when men fall in love, women will be able to take your wallet in your face and take your money.
Well, if y'all can get us to love you, we'll give you our wallet. You ain't got to take it.
For real. It ain't you taking it.
But the issue is you got to get us to fall in love with you. And that's what the problem is.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we not in love with y'all like y'all want us to be.
And the problem is a guy who has options don't fall in love that easy. He got options. And y'all don't want the guy that doesn't have options. You want the one who has all the options.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
CC says those 20s.
Those 20s something else.
Oh man.
There's a lot of sex going on in the town. There's a lot of diseases. I want to know what's too much. At what point in your 20s are you having some sex and you say, girl, I got to go back to the clinic again?
Oh my
Boy,
goodness.
this thing about to fall off, man. I can't, because that's all that's out there now.
Yeah, it's some stuff out there now you do not want to deal with. You got the outbreak in Houston. If you're in the Houston area, you better chill. You better relax. Don't be fooling around.
So they got some stuff out there.
They got some stuff out there for you, right? So, public service announcement. Now, don't do all that foolishness.
Put that thing in the knot.
In Houston. So, you end up with these high body counts, right? and you got the double standard with the body counts that people trying to fight. Is it the same?
I get it.
Is a high body count the same
It's
for a
not
man
the
and a
sa-
woman?
It's not the same. But listen, I understand this. I understand when women say, well, it ain't fair that he be with all those people. And I get it. I do. I get it. But all it's going to be is unfair.
But you know the problem is this. You don't want the dude who can't get nobody. You don't want him.
Well,
I mean, let's be honest.
But you know what? Why is it that we don't wind up with the dude or the chick? And the reason why is because you wasn't ready for that next thing, that next level, or I wasn't ready. We either got a baby, we having sex, we playing marriage. But it's a lot easier to play marriage when there's no commitment than it is to say, hey, I'm tired of playing marriage. Let's take this to another level.
We too young.
We good. Why you trying to mess this up? Because we good.
Right.
And now you want to bust my windows out.
Oh, man.
Man, I had a girl one time who, she was small, but she scared me.
Huh.
Because
Okay.
she threatened me like she would hurt me. And you know how people threaten you and you can
bruh.
see in their eyes they mean what they saying?
Oh, bruh.
Brother, I was,
Oh, man.
ooh, brother, it was scary. And I didn't realize, because, you know, when you start out, you saying, well, no, we just going to do this. We're just going to enjoy this until the last.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's just like, this is a reference that I'll never use on here, but it's just like selling drugs.
Uh-huh.
Most of the time, you won't stop until you get caught.
Oh, yeah.
Once you get used to
You're right.
making money, and that money coming in and it seems easy, you're not going to never stop. Something has to happen in order for you to stop. And it's the same with relationships. When you're sexual relationships, you're not going to stop unless something makes you stop.
That's the bait. That's the bait. That's how the devil gets you. He baits you in and lets you go along thinking you getting away with it. Then all of a sudden the rug get pulled out from under you and now you losing your mind.
Now, see, that's the thing. I don't think we look at it as like that I'm getting away with it, because we know we're not getting away with nothing. But what we're trying to do, we're trying to outsmart the movie. The movie says, if I do this, this, and this is what's gonna happen. Not to me though. I'm smarter than the movie. No, mine gonna be different. Mine is gonna be different. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a little bit more of this. I give him a little money. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and it'll be different.
Yeah.
And you just prolonging the inevitable.
Let me say this. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is thinking that it's going to be different for them. You can't get around. These are principles you violating. Principles don't care who you are, where you from. They just are. And you thinking you going to beat the game.
If you could beat the game, everybody will be married to their first love.
Oh.
Everybody will be with the person that they gave their heart to. All these baby, the person you got babies by, the first person that had you will wind up with those persons. If the movie wasn't the same, or you would have wrote your own script. If you could go back and write your own script for it and y'all be together, you would be together with 5 kids.
Oh man. So I'm curious. How bad was the person you really wanted?
But before you answer that, please like, share, and subscribe to
Brain freeze. Hell yeah.
Please like, share, and subscribe to
our podcast, to our platforms, TikTok,
like and follow us on TikTok, YouTube, yes.
Make sure you subscribe.
And now, I'm so engulfed in the conversation. And now back to toxic prime years turn into relationship tears.
Now you crying.
Yeah.
What you crying for? But no, how bad was that person you really was after. You really wanted to be with. So let me know, how bad was that person really?
Which, okay, when you say how bad, because you get personal with me. So what you mean how bad?
How much did they drag your heart through?
Oh, what? How, this the thing, and you willing to let them continue to do it over and over again? You are really.
Appeal said Johnny the cue card.
Don't do me like
She's
that.
clowning.
You over here every time, and you see me going through this, and the one time I'm in some, here you go. I think people be waiting on me. People be waiting for me. Oh man, and you continually give them an opportunity to drag your heart through the mud, because that's it. If I can get them to do what I want them to do, that's a chance I'm willing to take.
What in your mind tells you that maybe this time gonna be different?
Listen, it sounds really crazy, dude.
Man.
It sounds really crazy, but dude, I remember myself thinking that if I can just get her to act right a little bit,
Oh man.
I can get her.
Oh man.
It's gonna be special.
Right.
Right. You get dragged through the mud.
He said, if I could get them to do this one thing, we'd be good. We'd be good.
Bro, you got me sweating over
I'm trying to think, I guess I kind of dealt with what would be considered, I don't know if it was necessarily toxic. When you look back, because when people do things because their heart is tied up and they're not thinking rationally and they act out, I don't know if I can consider that toxic. What about you?
Wait, hell yeah, I can. If you busting women's eyes, yeah, that's toxic. Listen, because I said this earlier. No matter how we try to qualify it, toxicity is you acting a fool because your heart is involved.
But is that person toxic, or are they reacting to the toxicity of the other person? Let that sit and marinate for a minute. Aphia says, I agree with John. You do think that. Oh, yeah. You think that. Yeah, fool me once.
Yeah.
Fool me twice.
Yeah.
Selena says, I did. Super toxic emotionally. So, because, we always see the person that reacts. We don't see the person who initiated the action. Right.
So if you are wanting somebody to give you something that they can't give you, who the fool? Am I the fool for wanting it, or am I the fool, or are you the fool for not giving it to me?
Well, you saying something right there,
dude. Because listen to me. I remember wanting something from somebody that now that I am in my 50s, I don't believe they were able to get that to me.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I don't believe it was fair for me to want that from them. You belong to the streets, baby.
Yeah. How many of y'all regret you were the toxic person and you regret taking that person through what you took them through? And how many of y'all were the person on? Like Shantae said, you reacting to the other person. How many of y'all have felt that regret of being the fool for hanging on too long?
Like I said, you talking to me personally.
Okay.
Listen, man, because I believe in one way or another, you have either been the person that acted the fool or you have made somebody act the fool.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah.
And more times than not, and it's funny, I don't even keep count of the people that I made act a fool. Oh, but I know the ones that made me act a fool.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying? I'm sure I made somebody act a fool. No. If they could tell the story, if they could sit there and say, and let me tell you what he did, and he did this, and you know what I'm saying?
Oh, bro.
Oh man, brother.
Yeah. Shantae said both. Now, but I'm not dismissing that whether there was the person who caused it or the person that reacted, that what they did was wrong. I'm just talking about getting to a place where you understand, oh man, I can see why they did that. I can understand that.
Oh, you know how old you got to be to see that?
You ain't got to be. I realized that a long time ago, man. That's why I did my wife better. Because I had wised up enough to say, you know what? All that foolishness, I don't know if I want to do all that. Because this is what happened to me. This is what happened to me. And it happens to a lot of guys. you're the good guy. And when you're the good guy or the nice guy, I'm going to put it that way. You're the nice guy.
There you go. That's him. Yeah, that's him.
People stomp on your heart, put their foot in your behind sideways.
Oh, make you walk with a limp.
You know what I'm saying? And so guys get this mentality of, well, it seems like the dudes that are no good, those are the ones that women are fighting to hold on to. They fighting to hold on to it. They fighting whatever woman steps in. Now, I ain't said nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? They might fight him, but you know what I'm saying? Why you do me like that? And you going back into that whole thing and you ain't going nowhere. Mm-hmm. And so the minute I stopped being the nice guy, that's when somebody want to fight to keep me. And so I did stuff that I shouldn't have done.
What you do, child? What you do?
You asked too many questions. Man. You asked too many questions.
What you do?
That's how people in the church say, that's under the blood. That's covered by the blood. Jesus paid it all, so I'm good now. But you got to look at it, man. I did those things because I was tired of coming up short to guys who clearly were no good. Because being raised, especially being raised by women, you were taught to not do that. Don't act like that. Don't do that. You're taught that. But when you look at those women, they were the ones chasing the ones that was doing all type of stuff.
Absolutely.
And so
you're right.
you programmed that, be like, it's not getting me the results. The results of, oh, I like this girl, I want to be with this girl, you know what I'm saying? And you invest that you all in, and all of a sudden, she like, man, that goes away. I don't know what I'm saying. And now you hurt and all this, so you like, man, forget all that. I'm going to start doing same thing everybody else do. And the minute you do, that's when somebody want to hold on to you. So I had some toxicity in me based on that. Now, my ex-girlfriend in college reacted to that because she would fight, bro. She would fight. She would fight. So we had some things happen, but when I stopped and I looked at it, I looked at the whole situation, and I'm like, I had to learn to see things from her perspective. And if I was looking at things from her perspective, I might have acted up too. Because if your heart is tied up, your heart is in it, man. Dude, your rational mind is not working. You just reacting to stuff.
Yeah.
You Jessica talking about what you do. What you do. And my sister Riley give me question mark. Listen. I had my issues. We
all did. Listen, the 20s wasn't kind to nobody.
Oh, man.
Everybody. But see, I don't want to give an excuse to the 20s because we don't know no better. But I want to say this. But we have to be careful in our younger years where we don't make such a mess of our 20s that we can't be appreciated and enjoyed in our 30s. Mm-hmm. And that's men or women. That's men or women. You don't want to be such a fool to where when you're trying to get out of your 20s and you're 29 and 30 coming, you ain't worth having. All you can reminisce and think about is, man, when I was in my 20s, I was out here killing them.
Yeah.
You know, that's the best part of your life. The thing I used to talk to my son about, I'm like, dude, life is supposed to be, you're supposed to be able to reflect back on different aspects of your life.
Yes.
High school shouldn't be one that you have to keep referring back to. College shouldn't be one. Your life should be an example of, man, when I remember going through my 20s now, I'm in my 50s and life is grand.
Yeah.
We don't have enough things that we can look back on and be proud of.
That's it. Because how many of y'all, you did your toxic things in your 20s, and the consequences you had to deal with in your 30s and up? How many of y'all dealt with that? Is that your testimony when you stand in front of the church on Testimony Sunday? How many of y'all are telling that story? You know what I'm saying? you look at the things that you did in your 20s, and those things, the consequence, because everything got consequences. Everything has consequences, and most of us are trying to avoid the consequences. And I think that's where all this delusion that people talk about, I think that's what it's about. It's about trying to avoid the consequences. Oh, she says, Derek, you dated a career killer in college. Dr. Selena, thank you, God, for you rescuing my brother. Hey, listen. Hey, hold up. She didn't rescue me. She did not rescue me. She did not rescue. Listen. I'm trying to tell you. Before I met my wife, before I met my wife, I had a conversation with God because I had done enough in college that I said, you know what? I said, God, the next person, I'm going to do everything in my power to make it work. And then he sent my wife. Then he sent, but I had already made that commitment to God before.
So it ain't even about Selena.
It ain't about her. I had made that commitment.
And the foolishness that she brings. It ain't about that. It ain't about that. It is not about that.
It's not about that, brother. Not about that. I mean, Miss Treya says, sometimes someone has to put you through that same situation until you realize you was wrong.
Wow. Oh.
Hey, them not seeds.
Oh, the roosters coming back home to roost?
They call it karma. What they call it? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They start coming back up. Yeah.
Well, it's funny too because we say that, but man, I'm gonna tell you something. Don't nothing bring you to yourself like being by yourself.
Oh.
And you get to thinking about all that you've done. And because one thing that we do is we say, why me? Why? I did this. I did that. Why, Lord? Why?
And then God sit you down and say, roll that footage. And you start saying, man, I guess I was pretty bad. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Christina says, Lord knows I hated my 20s. All those freaking lessons.
Oh, it's a classroom. Life is a classroom in your 20s.
She says life should always be amazing and moving. Oh, wow.
Well, if that's the
amazing and moving.
And if that's the case, then you have to be doing stuff in order for it to be that. Most of the time we not. Most of the time we got to get older before we'll sit down somewhere before we actually can start enjoying life.
Yeah. Oh, she says, stay toxic, my friends. Oh, Dr. Selena, to my lies, I rescued him.
Everybody, get out of here.
I told you. It was Ronald to my judge, leave my sister alone.
I don't know what you're speaking.
Christina says, y'all can't know how it really feels until it's done to you. But that was the thing with me, because I saw how it felt. But I didn't do it to somebody who had done it to me. I did it to somebody who hadn't done it to me.
That's how it is most of the time. Most of the time, the people that we think deserve it, and more importantly, you ain't gonna get to get it back to them. It'll be the one that it'll be out. I don't know why I'm doing this to this particular person.
Yeah,
it's like that most of the time.
Yeah, because you hurting.
Yes.
You hurting, and don't nobody want to be made a fool of.
Nobody. But,
listen.
Hey, everybody play a fool.
Everybody play the fool. Everybody. Sometimes.
Ain't no exception to the rule. And see, and that's the most difficult thing to know is when you put your heart out there, sometimes they'll take it, but most of the time they won't.
No. Keisha says, Dr. Selena Fitzroy Smith, sis, I know. I ain't studying there. I'm trying to tell y'all. Don't
even worry about that. Don't let them get you off.
Right. Try to tell my testimony. But when you really consider it, because I know many of us, we're on that other side now. We've gotten through the 20s. How many of you all have consequences that you still dealing with, or you had to deal with afterwards, that made you regret how you handled your 20s? How many of y'all have that? Whether it's And I don't want to call kids that, but at the time, it was probably an inconvenience at the time.
Oh, you was young, and if you, yeah.
And because I said a minute ago, when those consequences follow you, delusion is you trying to get away from them. You trying to dismiss it. Watching the Kirk Franklin documentary.
Oh, man.
Watching the Kirk Franklin documentary.
I'm not gonna say I cried. I'm gonna just say this. Boy, it was tough. It was tough.
Man.
It was tough watch though, man.
Oh man. But when you look at the issue with his mom, 2 tests. 2.
So it makes you wonder what was going on her early years to where she don't want to fight. She don't want to look back at it no more.
Man.
What was going on where, because, you know, most of us, you know, especially when we broke, we start having sex early because we don't have money for nothing else.
Listen, poor folks get it in.
We'll have some sex. You hear me?
It's some sex going on in poverty.
Yeah,
Let me tell you.
Amen.
That is prime time entertainment. That's prime time entertainment.
Man, that's real talk.
For
that's
people,
that's real talk.
listen, that's why when people are in poor situations or people are oppressed, they multiply, man.
Yeah.
They multiply fast.
Stop. Don't have no more babies, y'all. Stop.
Yeah, because once you start moving up in life, you come out of that, you got a job, you got a career and stuff like that, the family numbers begin to go down, typically.
Mm-hmm.
Typically. Now, I'm saying that for everybody. Like, might be watching this show, Doubling Down with the Doricos. They got like 14 kids.
Well, you got
one mama. One mama.
Well, you got
like 14 kids.
You gotta understand too. That's when you're in poverty like that, man. That's the only thing that makes you feel like a man. It's sex. It's sex.
Or a woman, I guess. Then, because you got to have
you gotta have somebody
a participant, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody got to participate.
Hey, it's free,
boy. On the front end, it's gonna cost you though.
Ling a 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 ling. Come and get it.
I knew what you were talking about.
I've been around it way too long, y'all. Way too long. Way too long.
I knew it. Right before she rings the dinner bell. But when you think about, you stop and you really think about the stuff that you trying to avoid having to deal with. This is what makes the relationships later on in life so hard, because you're acting out based on those things that happen. But when it comes to really trying to heal, you got to actually talk about it. You don't say nothing because you trying to not face it.
Hey guys, right quick, like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to do some special things. We're trying to get our numbers up, and we're trying to get this out to as many people as we can. And I know you guys are having a good time, and I know it's entertaining. But won't y'all be kind and share? Hit the like button and share. Also for our I almost got through it. Also for our TikTok fans, like and follow us. And now back to toxic prime years turn into relationship tears with my man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Afia said she cried. I know a lot of, hey, listen, Kirk went for the tear ducts on this one, man.
Oh, yeah, he trying to sell that album gonna sell. I bought 2 copies sitting in my seat. I ain't even got up. I was like,
oh, you know that.
Put me down for 2 copies.
That album is gonna be.
What you talking about?
You already know that. Christina said his mama ain't ish.
Well, you know what? But before we go there, I just want to say this, and I'm trying to defend her. But before we go, I just gotta say this. Remember, guys, his mama can be one of us. Oftentimes, we make such a mockery of our lives to where when we get on our feet, we don't want to be reminded of it. We don't want to be reminded of some of the mistakes that we make, because oftentimes when you're making bad mistakes, they keep coming. They keep coming. And I just feel like, because I would never forget when her sister looked at her and said, "Baby, tell him the truth." And she shook her head because she's not ready to deal with that aspect of it. For whatever reason, she's not ready to deal with the truth. And we don't want that. Let's use her as an example to where we can not mess up our lives to a point to where we can't face it no more.
Yeah. Dr. Selena says Kirk's mom is the quintessential example of toxic 20s or teens turning into relationship tears. Yeah, because
I feel bad for her, man, because whatever it was, and I know it's people older than myself, my mom and other people, they're really prideful.
yeah,
Oh my God, they're so prideful, and you just don't want to be prideful enough to where you can't be. I mean, this man, to me, this man's breakthrough was at stake, and because you, I remember I told a joke one time. So I was doing comedy, and I told a joke, and I said our house was so small that we had cubicles in it, and everybody laughed and was crying, and my mama got upset.
wow,
Because she was thinking like it was a reflection of her and how bad we was doing. And now that I think about it, it might have been.
yeah,
But that was my story. That was
Yeah.
more. I thought that was more about me than it was her, and she felt some kind of way about it. And I'm just saying, older people are very prideful, and you will have a hard time trying to get them to see things or come over to your side because they want to use. Because like we talked about this last night, they don't have nothing on us but age. And so they hold on to that like they banter, like they banter and say, I'm your elder, you can't talk to me like that. Girl, you wrong. But I'm your elder, you can't talk to me like that. Fool, you still wrong, but I'm your elder, because that's all they got.
yeah. When it comes to right and wrong, the age go out the window. I'm sorry, for me, it goes out the window. Yeah, because the aunt wouldn't talk to him until he said aunt. She called him. Like, listen,
there was a lot going on.
Yeah, you're doing too much. You're doing too much.
There's a lot going on.
When it comes to right and wrong, that age thing don't fly. Still stay respectful. We can keep the respect, but that whole got to deal with you based on the wrong that you done. And so you got to be careful. Beverly says that was the saddest situation. Child trauma indeed for Kirk Franklin. Oh man, that brother went through.
Because when I seen his younger pictures, he looked like he got beat up every day.
Oh man, he's a little bitty dude, man.
When I seen his pictures, I said, boy, I bet they whoop you something good when you was coming up, because he looked like the kind of dude that you would beat up. If there was a profile for the dude that looked like they was gonna beat up, Kirk was the prototypical guy. He looked just like the type of guy that we would beat up.
Yeah. My wife, Dr. Selena, has a podcast, Through the Eyes of Trauma, and her latest episode, which came out earlier today, talks about what they call ACEs. ACEs are adverse childhood experiences. And she actually gave you, in that episode, ways to tell whether you have a lot. Because the higher your ACE score, the more issues you have, even physical, not just mental, even physical issues you have. So check out that episode. Find it Apple, Google, Spotify. You can find it all those places too. Through the Eyes of Trauma. So make sure you check that out. Afia says no. There were 2 DNA tests. No excuse for her not to be honest.
It's too easy for us to say there is no excuse for her not to be honest. I get it. And I want to be in agreement with y'all. But again, y'all know somebody right now that's too prideful to tell the truth when the truth is right there in their face.
Right. Or delusional.
Hey, I'm going to point at you. You make sure you ain't the person that's too prideful to where you can tell the truth when the truth is right in your face. Because it's easy to look at somebody else and say, oh, I can't believe it. But we do it all the time.
So Christina says, hold her accountable. She ain't ish. I said what I said. Afia says, the aunt knows what's going on,
then why
but she wants his mother to say it.
Why would not?
It's not hers to tell. It's not hers to tell. If she says, listen, yeah, she did it, and the mother still never it's not gonna do it.
Well,
it's not gonna do it.
But the reason why is because it's not gonna stop there. It's gonna be some more questions followed by that.
Lies beget lies, bro.
That she don't want to be gat. Don't you hate when you're reading the Bible and they go be gat, be gat, be gat, be gat? I'm like, I'm gonna have to skip over these pages. I'm gonna have to go to the next chapter. But it's too bad. But dude, what I'm saying, it's gonna be some more questions. It's gonna be some more begatting in there, and she don't want to deal with that. Dude, and I'm trying to get her back, and I know she wrong, y'all. I do. I know she wrong, and I thought the same thing when I saw her. Girl, tell him, you owe him that.
Right.
You owe him that.
Right. But what's the difference between lies and delusion? What's the difference in just flat out lying and actually being delusional?
Wow.
Because
Wow.
she put that on her dead mama.
Well, her mama was dead.
You're right.
If her mama had been walking around, that's
She
different.
could've-
Her mama dead. Ain't like she was.
But listen,
mama was
because
dead.
that's what people do.
Her mama
People will
dead.
put it on something because they're trying to sell the lie. So they will people will put it on their kids, they put it on their mama, they put it on anybody to try to sell their lie because they don't want to face the truth. And the things that we do to not face the truth. And the delusion comes in when you think everything should be fine. In spite of all these consequences that are showing up, all the things I've done, everything should be fine. Nobody should even be paying attention to that. What you talking about? That don't mean nothing. It does mean something, especially in relationships. It absolutely means something because I got to deal with you. And this is baggage that you drug into this thing, and you can't treat me like nothing is wrong. Say something, accept that something is wrong, and we can deal with it and move on.
Listen.
But if you deny it, then we can't go nowhere.
It's one thing for me to be not to have sense that God gave a squirrel, and I'm the only one that know it. It's another thing when you want me to talk about it. Let me see. This is the thing.
Yeah.
With my mom, the reason why it hurt my mom so much for me to talk about how much poverty we was in is because it had made her look at herself and say what you wasn't doing. And nobody wants to go back through their pains and their shortcomings.
Yeah.
And it's the same with relationships.
Oh, man.
If you was like a gate and this dude just ran through it every time he could and kept promising you something that wasn't gonna give you, or vice versa with a guy, nobody wants to be reminded of that. Girl, you sitting on the front row, got your big hat on, you mama something, and the young women come and talk to you. You don't want to be reminded how much of a hoochie you was. You don't want that. Nobody wants to be reminded of that, man.
No. But
So I'm not going to admit it.
But the problem is you fell for all of the lies that person told you. You fell for it. You went for it. All them times they said, baby, I ain't gonna do it no more. Baby, yeah, I promise. And then you fell for it again. Then years down the road, this person comes to you truthfully, and you don't even want to be right with them, be real with them. I think it's fair that you give the good stuff away, the good years, the good commitment years, and all that. You give it away to people that you know you shouldn't, and then leave somebody else to pay the bill.
We ain't taught save some for later. We ain't taught that. Listen, when I go in, I'm going all the way in. I'm giving him all this because he might stay around. Everybody keep telling me, he ain't gonna stay with you, but he might. My movie might be different from yours. Damn, my movie ain't different from yours. Damn, my movie just like yours.
It's just something about you that you can tie him down when the other 4, 5, 6 people.
We're not taught to keep something for later. We're not taught that.
You right, man. Fia says, then she tried to play the classic victim role part, saying that is all I wanted, meaning a relationship with him. If that's all you wanted, and this is the thing that's standing in between you getting that relationship for real.
But I got to be naked. I got to be naked in front of you. I'm not trying to be naked like that in front of you. Listen, everybody is not ready to be vulnerable for the world to see them. It's funny. Me and my wife, we've been married forever, but she is completely different from me. I would get on her and tell my whole life, you will have to bring in somebody to cut her legs and arms off before she gonna start talking about anything, because that's not who she is. Most of the time, I just think his mom should like, no, you're gonna have to bring somebody in here because I'm not saying nothing.
Was it that generation, or are we still like that now? Was it that generation though? Because you had the Secrets generation.
Yeah, that was that.
Oh, the Secrets generation, the family Secrets generation.
Yeah, that's the one that had the uncle in the room that was touching all the kids, and we didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about it. We just kept him in that room. Don't go in that room. Don't go in that room. Don't go in that room.
Because you got the kids now that's talking about it and it's telling.
Absolutely.
And
but that was that generation. That was that generation. Don't go down now.
So what makes people today so different? Are they? Dr. Selena said she don't just have to be naked to him, but the whole world, because her son
and he
is
gonna
a celebrity.
tell everybody.
Oh, man.
He gonna make an album about it.
Oh, man.
My mama was this. No, he don't know. Y'all listen. And I think it's too easy for us to be on here and to say what we would do when most of y'all gonna tell a lie anyway.
Yeah.
It's way too easy. No.
Yeah.
Most of y'all don't have no skins in the game. Most of us want to protect. Listen, ain't nobody on here that's listening don't care about how they perceived by other people.
Yes. Y'all
And
care.
We ain't got to a point to where we don't care yet.
Even the person who does all the opposite stuff, I don't care what nobody. You absolutely care.
Yes,
That's
you
why
care.
you doing
You
the
care.
wild stuff.
Yes,
Because you care.
Yes, exactly. You're exactly
You
right.
care.
So as much as I want to, Kirk, I know I feel bad for you. I really do. I wish his mom would go ahead, but man, that's something that, that's something that she gonna have to.
See, he messed up the church money now, boy. He done messed up the church's money.
Well, I think she was trying to get out of here before she said something about it.
Oh man.
And what are the chances that somebody gonna bring that up,
Bruh.
at a funeral though?
God is
Ain't that something
God don't
though?
play, boy.
Ain't that something though?
He said, just in case you thought
You got
this
away.
thing was gone.
You got away.
Just
Wow.
a random chance thing just happened. And
Wow.
here you are. And now the thing that you've been trying to avoid is staring you dead in your face. So does it really benefit you to be toxic in your younger years?
Well, my final thoughts. Let me get. I want to say this. I got something good. I want to do for my final thought. Final thought. So, dealing with toxicity, being toxic. So, listen. Some of us are toxic right now in our relationships. Some of us are toxic with people that we deal with every day. There are going to be opportunities and situations that are going to be looking you in your face for you to do better and be better. When we're going to start taking advantage of them, we got to start creating more opportunities in our life that we can be proud of. I know you ain't ish. I ain't either. But I'm trying to be better. I'm trying. At least you want to be able to say you trying to be better, y'all. Because we can do better. We older and we can do better. That's my final thought.
There's this serious game that most people, when I look at society, there's this game that people are playing. And the game is, how can I have the fun without the consequences? Actions have consequences. I tell people all the time, God does not punish you. The punishment is built into the action. It's already attached to it. Just like if you go to the store and you pick up a shirt off the rack, that shirt has a price to it. The price is already attached. When you pick up the shirt, you agree to the price. When you go and you do the action, you agree to the consequence just by doing the action. See, most of us are trying to shoplift our way through life. We're trying to take what we want without having to pay for it. And life don't play like that. Life does not do that. You think it's going to be different for you and you're going to get away with it when everybody else had consequences that showed up? Stop being delusional about that. Let's not be a fool when it comes to that. I'm reminded of a quote by Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn says, there are two pains that all of us going to have to deal with. He says there's the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. And he said, discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons. Get that weight off of you. Get that weight off of you. Don't pick up the weight to begin with. Discipline yourself. Don't pick up the weight. But if you've picked up the weight of regret, confess that thing. Tell somebody, get it off of you. Because life is too short to be walking around with so much regret. So let's heal and get better. And that's my final thoughts. What?
Oh, I ain't got nothing else to say. You know how people be writing stuff on paper. He wrote down his little notes. I was like, nah, I ain't got nothing. Boy, look at you.
I didn't want to forget that quote, man.
Goodness, boy, wait, oh, you killed him. I'm like, this is going like that. Boy, you killed that.
I'm here all week.
Man.
No.
You did that, brother. You did that, man. Y'all need to check out the ministry on Sunday morning. If y'all want some of that for real, check them out on Sunday morning. D, what's your handle on Sunday morning?
Overcomers Empowerment Ministries. Catch us on Facebook. Catch us live 10 a.m. Central. 10 a.m. Central. Right now we're in a series called Kingdom Harvest, the Power and Purpose of the Fruit of the Spirit. So we're going through the fruit of the Spirit, just actually breaking each one down and why they're so important. So doing that. So check us out.
Wow.
Check us out Sunday morning. 10
Wow.
in the morning.
If I had any money on me, I would give offering right now. Boy, you did that, boy. You did that, man. Oh, man. This is what I got to deal with all the time. I got to deal with this all the time. And he want me to say something afterwards, man. Awesome, man. Awesome job, brother. Awesome job, man.
Listen,
awesome job.
we appreciate everybody for jumping into the conversation. That's what I'm
Absolutely.
talking about. We had a lot of people talking to us. We appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
Listen, don't forget, come back. We got more for you next week. We'll see y'all. Peace out.